Hello, Ace Nation! I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. After missing Collision Course last month, I made a return to an Ace show for Friday Night Massacre, which was a very good show. I was hoping there would have been a bigger crowd for this event. Circumstances beyond my control prevented me from getting there before the show started, and when I arrived, the first match was in progress as the freshleet Trey Felipe went one-on-one with Dominic De Niro. From what I called in progress all the way to the ending, it was a very good matchup, which saw Dominic De Niro defeat the freshleet Trey Felipe with that submission hold. I forgot if he has a name for it or not. And nice way to see De Niro bounce back after losing the Diamond Division Championship last month at Collision Course. Next is a six-man tag team match as Black Zemis, and I apologize for not getting the names of his two tag team partners, as they did battle with Prince Akhenaten, Felix the Crazy Rican, and Jay Outcast. All apologies if I got his name wrong. Fun six-man tag these six guys put together. Eventually, the end came when Zemis and Akhenaten's partners were out on the floor. Zemis tried to scoop slam Akhenaten, but much like the late Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 had done to Hulk Hogan, Akhenaten dead-weighted Zemis, landed on him, and pinned him, enabling Prince Akhenaten, Felix the Crazy Rican, and Jay Outcast to defeat Black Zemis and his two partners. I guess this match was just thrown together. I don't really thrown together. Just a way to squeeze six guys on a show. Next up was the four-way match for the Fight for Flight Championship, as we saw Timid Tamir Gibbs, Vincent Michaels, and Drew Morrison, and take on Love Jones in a four-way match for the Fight for Flight Championship. Pretty good for what I saw, and got to see the whole thing, of course. And Love Jones defeated Vincent Michaels, Timid Tamir Gibb, and Drew Morrison to retain the Fight for Flight Championship, which Love Jones actually had won last month over previous champion Rob Chase at Collision Course. Next up was tag team action, as we saw the lit superstar Sebastian Cage and Johnny Santos, collectively known as First Class. I know these two men have been teaming up in Project Code Word Wrestling, as they did battle with Monkey King Dio and the Caveman, collectively known as the Kings of the Stone Age, who were defeated for the Tag Team Championship last month at Collision Course. Just as the match was getting underway, Caveman was saying to the crowd, Dio, Caveman, and then pointed First Class saying, Kaka Pee Pee Kaka, or Kaka Pee Pee, and some of those fans in that one side of the room, they were chanting that stuff and Kaka Pee Pee Kaka, and wow. They made the show worth it too. Eventually, the Kings of Stone Age pick up the win, defeating First Class to get back on their winning ways after they were dethroned for the Tag Team Championship last month at Collision Course. The show went to intermission. Okay. The action resumes as we see the Allfather, Darius Carter, do battle with the wrestling creature double feature Mouse, or as I dubbed him, the Resident Rodent. Eventually the match was on, and Carter had Mouse in the sleeper hold, and Mouse's arm dropped twice, but didn't drop a third time. But then Mouse took a page out of the Bret the Hitman Hart playbook, kicked up the turnbuckles, landing on top of Darius Carter. The referee made a 3 count, enabling Mouse to defeat the Allfather Darius Carter. Like I said, I say Bret Hart playbook because think back to WrestleMania 8. That's exactly how Bret Hart defeated the late Rowdy Roddy Piper to win his second Intercontinental Championship. So Mouse took a page out of the Hitman's playbook. Next up, we had Bad Brad Benson and Nobody's Better Michael Mistretta challenge All Day Kenny Bangle and Bulldog Pittman, the Silk City Kings, for the Tag Team Championship. The Silk City Kings were the ones who dethroned the Kings of the Stone Age last month. Good match these two teams had, which saw the Silk City Kings defeat Bad Brad Benson and Nobody's Better Michael Mistretta to retain the Ace Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship. Next up, we saw the good guy, Azrael, challenge Cade Lothbrock. Wait, is it Lothbrock or Lothbrook? Accompanied by Foxy for the Diamond Division Championship. Good match these two guys put on, and can't remember how it ended, but Cade Lothbrock was victorious over Azrael to retain the Diamond Division Championship. But out comes Dominic De Niro, who Lothbrock dethroned last month at Collision Course, and he goes after Lothbrock. He gives him a DDT on the Diamond Division Championship belt. He threw the referee of the Lothbrook Azrael match out of the ring, and then he's roughing up Chris Shady Torres. So I guess Dominic De Niro now a heel. And De Niro, right before he went to the curtain, classic Mikey D gets up from the commentator table. He says, "Ask De Niro, can I get a word?" And they shook hands, and they both went behind the curtain. Because I remember earlier this year, classic Mikey D left the commentator table and aligned himself with, I think it was Joe Scott, who wasn't even on this show. Then it was time for the main event, a Fans Bring the Weapons match, as Absolute Alvin Alvarez in the unfamiliar position as challenger against the Jurassic Juggernaut Vince Steele. There were weapons brought by the fans. There were baseball bats. Somebody brought a shovel. Little kid had a fly swatter in his hand. Someone gave Steele a can of Silly Stream. Who else I remember? Other stuff I remember being brought into play. I forgot his name. He's been there at the shows in the past. He took his the prosthetic leg, and Steele took that man's prosthetic leg, and he was literally using that prosthetic leg to literally kick Alvin in the ass. I forgot how, but it was that baseball bat with little spikes at the end. I think Carl Roberts gave that to Vince Steele. Steele tried to use it on Alvin, but then Alvin moved out of the way, and like one of those spikes or nails got caught in the turnbuckle, and that's when Alvin eventually turned the tide in the match. Alvin took a light tube, broke it over Steele's head, and he started to bleed. I forgot how, but Alvin eventually bled. Oh my goodness. They tried really hard. Actually, just right before the bell even rang, Alvin had a chain around his fist. He hits Steele with it. Steele hits the ropes, and he lands on top of Alvin and almost pinned him. I don't know if that's the way Steele won the belt last month at Collision Course. I think Steele hit a big splash, which Alvin kicked out of. And eventually Steele hit a second big splash, pinning Alvin Alvarez to retain the heavyweight championship and ending Friday Night Massacre. Personal notes, good seeing Mike Morgan, Denise, Cheyenne Ortiz, Chris Shady Torres, Ryan Peterson. Didn't encounter Kenny and Sharon. Didn't encounter Carl Roberts. Who else could I remember? That's all I remember, people that were there. There was one crazy nut job in the crowd. I forgot he had like a vape, a thing that he vapes with. Ugh. Please don't butter me up about vape, hookah, or weed. Okay? Yeah, actually, I think he dropped it over the rail at one point. One thing I forgot to mention in the main event near the end, Rob Chase shows up with a pizza and a delivery for Vinny. And it wasn't even a full pie. He actually, what Vince Steele did, he took like a slice of that pizza. There was like another slice in there too. And he like force fed Alvin with it, and then gave him that big splash to win the matchup. Also, there was a kid in the front row wearing a striped referee shirt. There were two 10-bell salutes throughout the night. One for Arthur Pena Jr., aka who wrestled as Sergeant Payne, and unless I'm wrong, he and Morgan like started Ace long ago after breaking away from ECPW. He had passed away, and they did a 10-bell salute for him. And then they also did a 10-bell salute for Hector Maldonado, who I remember from the Union City days and even from the Wallington years, where he eventually, I think he was doing like security, maybe ring crew for them as time went on, and both men had passed away, and they are definitely missed. Cheyenne, one thing you have to mention about Hector Maldonado is, aside from, I didn't know he was a Mets fan, but he was a big fan of the New York Giants too, I understand. And I remember back when Hector was in the crowd, I forgot who was on the show, but somebody had like fake dollar bills, and I remember Hector gave him the finger and said the guy had monopoly money, and he called him the N-word. And on top of that, he gave that wrestler a sign for the Bird Watchers. Okay, well, no return date was announced. It would be great if Ace runs a show in December, and for the second month in a row now, Ace did a show on a Friday night. But what I'm wondering is, could it be that Teaneck, New Jersey is not a wrestling town? I mean, what does it take to... I know people, rather take their money and do something else, and times are hard, and life gets in everybody's way. I don't know what it's going to take to get people to come to Ace shows again. Got to have 2 chicken empanadas. I wonder, those chicken sandwiches that they had earlier this year, are they ever going to come back? No John Harder at the commentary table. We had Classic Mikey D, Cheyenne, and William Wyeth, Mr. Ace. Like I said, no return date was announced. I would hope you have run a show in December. But I would like to see at the next Ace show, Cade Lothbrok defend the Diamond Division Championship against Dominic De Niro. Don't know where everybody else is going to go from here, depending on how this show turned out. I'm guessing Rob Chase's partner didn't make this show, because Chase and his partner were scheduled to wrestle the Kings of the Stone Age, and that didn't happen. Well, let's see. Who else can I remember or what to remember? Okay, well, I guess that will do it for this. It was great to see Ace Pro Wrestling for the first time in months, because my last show was Resurgence back in March after I missed out on Collision Course last month, where all the titles had changed hands that night. So, definitely Ace once again. Hope you'll have a show in December, because I don't know if you're gonna run in November or not. Because seeing that, I've got to mention there were some kids in the crowd, I think, wearing some Halloween costumes. There was a good-looking lady sitting behind me. Like I said, hope you run a show in December, because I don't know if you're gonna run in November at this rate, since Monday is Halloween already. But it was good to be there again, and hopefully I'll get there before the show starts next time. Ace, 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 ace.